The Bills make me wanna shout. Kick your heels up and shout. Throw your hands up and shout. Throw your head back and shout. Come on now, the Bills are making it happen now. Stand up now, come on and shout. Yeah, 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 yeah. Shout it.
What's
right
up, Matt?
now, baby.
Let's go.
Come on, come on. Come on and shout. Yeah. Buffalo's happening now.
What's going on, guys?
All right, and welcome into another edition of the Postgame show from us here at Do Champions Live.
Another edition. It's a first edition.
We did one a couple of weeks ago with the Carolina Panthers game.
Oh, we did.
We hopped on
What is up?
Yeah, what's going on after that heart-breaking or heart-thumping win? Ended up, what was it, 34-28?
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of it either. We're just gonna sit here and let you guys watch us.
I ordered meatballs. I'm fucking eating, dude.
Not at this table. Not with this product around after all the drinks. The Red Bulls you spilled today.
Oh, I mean, we gotta get a. Dude, you're laughing like me now. Did you hear that?
No, I didn't.
I'm just getting somebody to check our audio right now.
No, you're good. So. Very, very interesting game happened today.
A tale of two halves, really.
Yeah, I mean it was 17-3 until 2 minutes left about 2 minutes left in the second quarter, and the Bills then went up. Brought it to 17-10, and double dipped after the half.
What does that mean, by the way?
So to take it to score before the half and then get the ball back after the
Oh,
half.
is that what a double dip is?
Yeah.
Oh, Jake was tweeting double dip, and I was just like. I like it. I'm going to say it.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So what is up, Bills Mafia? We're 1-0. We accomplished the goal. A bunch of 1 week seasons strung together, Matt. But at the same time, you got to string two halves together.
You got to.
I'm not sure we did that. There's definitely a palatable difference, and it's almost binary between half one and half two. But in order to get that win, you can't have two halves like the first.
I mean, I don't know what else to say about that. I mean, that whether it was first game, I don't want to say jitters, but like let's put it all together at this point and continue on with the season.
Yeah, and let's continue on with the sponsors right now. Maddie, if you just want to stream to the crowd,
yeah,
we got
absolutely.
if you want to stream to the crowd right now, we got right now Elliot Apollos. We got Paul McGuire in the building. They honored him at the game, 1964. But one of our lead sponsors, and the reason we're here for a place at the table, I'm filling in for Eric Wood here. He had a last-minute commitment, but that does not mean he's not coming.
Yeah.
If you know anything about Eric Wood,
we'll see.
He is the Outlaw Cowboy Band. So we're sponsored by Elliot Apollos. We're sponsored by Sons of Erie. You can see our art hanging on this place a bunch. They're a strong supporter of Sons of Erie. As well, beauty pools, kayak pools. If you want to dip your jersey down a little bit, a little bit Fat Boy Surf Club. Where's that logo?
There it is.
Little Fat Boy Surf Club. Great brand. They're with Spencer. They're with Alec Anderson. They're with Tommy D. They're with Ryan Vandenberg, most importantly. Man, we talked to him this week, and
there's just so much good synergy between
the brands.
Yeah.
I think they wanted to send us a box of stuff, and we politely declined because we're trying to bring you the wood. We want them to feel like they could build a bridge between the two brands with that. Audio looks good from Tommy Giambra. That's big dubs.
Big dubs in the chat.
Big dubs in the chat. Big dubs for you guys listening right now. I know you guys got a lot of choices. The penultimate one would be Terrestrial GR. You guys want to keep it moving, keep it with us. We will be here all season. But the big one.
Well, 1 o'clock games.
1 o'clock games, yeah. But the big sponsor would be BetUS. Do you want to expand on that one or just keep it moving? No, we should probably do it.
We'll read it. We didn't do it this morning, so give me one
absolutely.
second here.
BetUS, what you're going to hear about quickly in an abbreviated version is if you bet Stephon Diggs to score 2 touchdowns, you certainly nailed that. But with BetUS, you would have got 125% more with your first deposit. BetUS, one of the biggest sportsbook going, giving you one of the biggest incentives to use their sports book.
So, real quickly, listen up, sports bettors. Your favorite sports book, BetUS.com, is back for our 30th year of sports action with the industry's biggest sign-up bonus of up to 125%. BetUS offers the opportunity to cash in on all favorite sports, including live action and the chance to build your own prop. That's right. If you're looking for live in-game betting, incredible props, daily odds boosters, a top-tiered race book, and an unbeatable casino experience, look no further. We've got it all. What about fast payouts and exceptional one-on-one customer service? We've got that too. Sign up now at betus.com by clicking the link in our YouTube bios or Twitter or Twitch or whatever. And also use promo code DEW.
That is DUE.
To get the greatest sign-up bonuses. Our account managers are available 24/7 to help you get started on the best action at 1-800-792-3887. That is 1-800-79-BET-US. BetUS, America's favorite sports book.
We're betting on America's favorite game. So we got some wins today within the conference. We had the Patriots take down the Bengals, and we had a last second squeeze out with Miami.
For the Dolphins,
taking down. Those are two big AFC East wins, and the final one we will be seeing. Will be tomorrow night when the Jets take on the 49ers. Hey, did you see Tim Settle Jr. Rocking a Houston jersey again today? That's another Bill that had a great day in the win. But that's what's going on in the NFL right now. We're waiting on some 4:00 games to start. Please stop in at Iliad Apollos. We'll get a couple players on today. Once again, I'm filling in for Eric Wood, who you will see for all 1 p.m. games. But he's got a large docket.
Yeah, I mean
the fact that he's gonna dual sponsor this endeavor speaks to what we're trying to accomplish. It speaks to the synergy of what we're trying to build with the Buffalo Network, and damn. I hope we build the tale of two halves here, because that's certainly what it was today. Matt, your thoughts?
We can't say that enough. I mean, they've got to start. They've truly got to start. Putting full games together. They were doing it last year too, and it's absolutely crazy that they just can't put two halves together. The second half team looked like a completely different team than the first half.
The chat's coming in hot right now. Jake with our data guy. Jake, just let us know you want to hop on here, because there's nothing. I mean, you know how cathartic this post-game conference is, the conference call for all of us. Jake, let us know if you want to hop on. Any other DEW guys, that is a specific invite if you want to hop on. Smiley's got to go.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying to us.
I mean, it's
Tyler Bass was Tyler Bass outside of that, but I would have...
It's a reoccurring theme.
Okay.
Tyler Bass hit all of his field goals.
Okay, where do we miss the mark today on special teams if Smiley's got to go?
That kickoff return. Specifically, just nobody was able to get in there. And
Matt, you can't pin execution on the call. Come on, man.
I mean,
I get you, but the two things with Smiley is, and I don't agree with this, man. I did agree with it last year, but if everything's a clean slate, if everything's different, Matt, come on, man.
Yeah.
It was a kick that went out of bounds, and what's the difference between getting the ball in the 40? In kind of a prevent, keep everything in front of your face situation versus where you're normally going to get in.
Plus, on top of that, too, I will say that.
So you got to give us some agency, dude.
In defense of Smiley, I mean, on that, Tyler Bass had trouble kicking the ball through the end zone, going that direction with the wind the way it was. I couldn't believe how I don't want to say bad it was, but the wind was pretty bad. We saw it this morning at the pregame show. There was flags flying all over the place.
I mean, it'd be disingenuous to call it football weather, and then complain about the wind. You're gonna get tunnel wind. You're gonna get south-facing wind in the stadium. I don't think this one's on Smiley. I don't think there's anything to complain about right now outside of execution, and the execution when it mattered, when it came to like putting points on the board. Tyler Bass. What more do you want from that lad?
No, you can't ask for more than what he did. I mean, he made every single one of his PATs. He made every single one of the field goals that was asked of him.
Yeah, for people to say we should have went for it on that fourth down.
That 4th and 2. I mean, Osiris Torrance did not have the best of days. I mean, we'll definitely have to check with Jake and the data guys.
Hopefully,
from New
Later.
Champions. Once everything comes out, watch the all 22, because I really want to kind of lock in on Osiris Torrance a little bit, because just from watching it with the broadcast, it seemed like he was getting taken advantage of all day.
I mean, it was a pretty egregious foul when we got inside the 10.
That face mask.
That face mask inside the box is crazy.
Yeah, that face mask. I couldn't believe. It took away a touchdown. I mean, just absolutely crazy. I mean, but
it took away a good half of our playbook.
Yeah.
When you have to trot back 15 yards, not as normally demoralizing. To the momentum we were building, it felt like it let the Cardinals open it up a little bit, not knowing that they were going to be down another 7 points.
Yeah, I mean, it also was tough, too, with a lot of the penalties, a lot of procedural penalties today. I couldn't believe how many that there were. I think I counted like 6 or 7.
Yeah, I mean, Dion didn't have a great day for a guy who only had 5 or 6 penalties last year. I don't know if jitters. I don't know if.
I mean, at this point, being that much of a veteran, you can't have jitters. You can't call it jitters. I mean, he's just got to be better. Like they've
right.
all
that
got
was that was a bad analysis on my half.
No, it's okay. I mean, it's true though. I mean, it's we saw it in the first half. The whole team looked like they were just not. I don't want to say not ready to play, but it's the first game of the season, and you got a lot of stuff going into that, and it comes down to it. And it's all truly excuses at the end. Because you just go out there and play. You got to go out there and just play.
Yeah, I mean, you saw like a lot of people like as you peruse Twitter during the game, you saw a lot of them say same old Bills shooting themselves in the foot. I'm not sure it's the same old Bills because there's never been a dynamic roster overhaul, but the guys who have been there did commit some of the biggest egregious fouls. I don't think you can pin that early one. I mean, it's been talked about already to the point where it didn't affect the game, but like unnecessary roughness there. That's a drive extender, and that's a point that led to 7 points. Matt, your thoughts?
That personal foul earlier was not a personal foul, and that I was up in arms about that. Like, and I'm not usually like that with the referees or anything like that, but all day it was a horribly officiated game by those refs.
And I think that starts with me. I started the day poorly. I started the day with a rosemary bagel with sea salt on it. Then I mixed that with a little chalky milk. And I mixed that with some lox, some smoked salmon, and I think that's on me, Coach. I think I didn't prepare to win, as Greg Comset does say. I think I got to be better than that, just on a personal level.
You got to do your 111.
Oh, my 111, yeah. But it seemed like the crowd was active in there. I did not feel like we got our best out of the CBS announcing crew. I feel like it was a frustrating thing where I wish I was listening to E. Wood, because some of the asinine things that you hear from out-of-market commentators is a little crazy.
And you could hear it in his voice as far as Ross Tucker goes. Like, as much as he was trying to be like I played for the Bills, formerly of the Bills and everything like that, and I love the Bills. You could hear it in his voice that he just was not happy with them.
Yeah, he was not happy a lot of things, but for them to compliment us on the stadium that we have one of the best venues in the NFL, it's just not. That's the reason we're getting a new one. And then to segment to a new stadium, that's the reason I guess we're doing it here is because, damn, man, there's nothing more infuriating when momentum is shifting, but you never feel like the momentum is shifting in personal encouragement because it gets you down. But by all accounts, the stadium was rocking today, so we do salute you guys for coming out being loud and proud.
We said loud and proud earlier, and everybody seemed like they were.
Yeah, no word if the Stampede was in effect. Also, no official word on Taron Johnson. The official thing, hopefully we'll get that out of the Bills presser at the end. And obviously we all want to hear about Josh. Just from seeing it back, Matt, what degree of concern do you have for both injuries? We did not really see Taron Johnson.
So the Taron Johnson injury, the thing that worries me about that is a little bit of a fracture to the forearm because it did look like it was he got squished there with his arm making that tackle. And then we didn't see him all game afterwards. So it looked like they were working him out on the side, trying to test his grab strength and everything like that. And it just didn't seem like it was.
It did not seem like it was tethering together. It did not seem that we would put ourselves in the best situation putting him back in the game. But there were other games going on that we'd like to touch on. Immediate comment from Tommy Giamber is Burrow overrated, guys. Matt, you start.
I don't think so. I think that Bengals team has still not built a good enough offensive line around him to protect him. I mean, we saw what the Bills did, a couple years ago, bringing in Mitch Morris and then, drafting Osiris Torrance. Yes, Mitch Morris left, but they brought
extending Spencer,
drafting Spencer originally, and then now extending him. We still don't know the numbers on that contract, do we?
They have come out. We will have someone later on the broadcast to expand it later, so I think we keep it moving on that. But a resilient team effort out of the young Pat Bruckness. I couldn't agree more. Its past performance in the first half was not indicative of future results. I really do believe that you gutted it out, and you just hope the guts and the internal inner workings of the mentality and the focus did get better in the second half. Can't deny anything there. But the get back call we did get.
We did get that on that. We got it a couple of times, and it didn't go back the other way to Arizona, thankfully. But again, I truly think that it was a horribly called or a horribly officiated game. Like
someone said on Twitter, there's nothing that that really sucks more than seeing a referee conference call on the field, especially when a game-changing momentum 15-yarder is called or a 10-yarder is called. I was very confused why the umpire is involved in some of those calls. The umpire is a very specific job, and while he is another set of eyes on the field, if he has the wherewithal to join some of those conferences, his opinion should not matter, as that is not his dedicated responsibility on the field. I do like a whole crew to be involved in the outcome of the game, but when it comes to spot-specific fouls,
where was the sky judge on the personal foul at the beginning of the game?
I'm still unclear about if the sky judge is real. I mean, I know technically he is an extension of the on-field crew, but maybe they couldn't get anybody proficient in there, because it just seemed like what is on the field, whether good or bad, was what remained on the field. What do you think, bud?
I'm of the same mind. It's kind of a long-standing tradition as Bills fans to talk bad about referees, but at this point right now, I mean, it seems like it's throughout all of the games. It's not just the Bills. It's the games we saw Thursday, the games we saw Friday. We saw that in a few other games today. Watching it down here at the restaurant, and it's just crazy.
If there's a dedicated investment in new technology and new ways to do things, much like you saw on the kickoff today, which we're going to get to shortly, you got to implement your investment. We make jokes all the time that we got two guys on the chain gang trotting out a chain that most likely came from Lowe's, or actually no free shout-outs. What an archaic system, but they put in dedicated technology, dedicated research, and dedicated salaries to get that sky judge in there. I don't think he for right or wrong inflicted his expertise in his viewpoint. He's got some of the best optics, some of all that. I didn't see where there's anything but a crew on the field making some of these penultimate calls that really could have changed the game.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. That personal foul penalty was on a 3rd and 13.
That's a drive extender no matter where it is. But
I'm just saying it was a 3rd and 13, and they were on the 17.
Guy, I hear you. Guy, I hear you. We're not arguing about that. We're arguing that you got to keep it. You got to keep the energy the same. Yeah. It doesn't matter if it's first and 10 or 3rd and 13. Call it the same way.
Yes. I agree with that.
Oh, just fight back.
but I mean, it's true though. I completely agree with that point, because you gotta call the same calls throughout the game, because we saw that personal foul. Yes, I agree. Dalton Kincaid had his hands on the guy's back, but when Wilson went into Josh Allen, as Josh Allen actually slid, they should have called it. It should have been thrown.
Well, I don't agree. You saw, I don't remember if it was Knox or Kincaid. It was somebody with the DK initials. They posted him in, and it was forward momentum. I don't think that was outward inspiration to hit him as he was sliding. So I actually thought they got that right. But The first one, egregiously wrong. And that is where my frustration lies. And they set the tone of how they're going to use the Sky Judge. And unfortunately, I think the Sky Judge was not in this game to begin with. And he did not play a role for better or for worse, or he didn't play any utility in the investment in getting these calls right. Because at the end, you still felt like the game was in our hands, but could be taken away pretty quickly. With some of those, personal fouls and some of those things, like with two quarterbacks in the game like that, Matt, homie, they're going to use their legs, and they're going to use all utility provided to them. They're afforded an incredible right to slide. They're afforded an incredible right for personal protection. That's why you see a new kickoff rule and everything like that. They're out for player safety. You don't see that when they play in Brazil, but they're out for player safety. They called it consistent, but the consistency lied in not using all resources available to get the call right. It's almost like, I'll say it again. It's almost like it was ironclad. Called on the field, stands on the field.
Yeah, I mean you're not wrong, and it's almost like that they didn't do anything. Like they just didn't even get together. Like and
when they did, it was the umpire.
That is true. That is true.
I mean, they all have defined roles, man. And I just thought for a holding call or a fucking there was no illegal man downfield today that I saw.
No.
But that's like kind of where your back judge comes in and stuff like that. I did think in terms of how we did play some of the good things. Let's get off the referees.
Absolutely. The Keon Coleman catch. Welcome to the NFL type catch.
Put it in his basket.
Throw it up to him. Let him go get it.
I did think going right back to him though. Yeah. I thought that was fantastic. That was just a bad ball.
A nice thing from Josh Allen. From Joe Brady. To call his number again, not a nice thing, but a good thing.
It showed continuity.
Right, exactly. And I'm excited for more things to come like that. We definitely saw a lot of wide receiver screens with Curtis Samuel. Khalil Shakir scored on one. Hell of a play by him to get in the end zone on that play.
I mean, yeah, Khalil Shakir was sipping the yak today as Big Pow Wow.
And he had
the
another
people's champ. I was just about to rap, man. Come on, how are you going to take that away from me?
Sorry, go ahead.
That was it, actually. So Paul Wall, the people's champ, talks about the yak. Snoop Dogg talks about sipping on yak. Yards after catch.
Yeah.
How big was that today, Matt?
I mean, it's huge. Khalil Shakir had another play like he did against Pittsburgh where he got hit, looked like he was going down, and he was able to keep his balance and add another almost 10 yards to that. I mean, it's absolutely crazy that he's able to do that. The absolute balance that he shows why.
How about my balance right now? Just extending my arms full just to type on my keyboard. Not as impressive as landing on your head for a touchdown.
No, that was definitely we were a little worried until we saw him get up, that he might have hurt his neck on that play, but it was just the NFL nowadays, the players and everything are very well trained. We'll put it that way.
Peek in the pit today. We always do it. Peek in the pit for you.
I think the peak again, like we talked about, was Josh Allen. Josh Allen showed up and he
showed a lot of chutzpah. Showed a lot of chutzpah getting injured on that, and
two throwing touchdowns or 2 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, and he did it again.
I mean, Shakir had a standout performance for the Bills today in the victory. He had an 11-yard touchdown, from Josh. A couple crucial catches as we attained the lead, and his effort. His effort was spectacular. Especially, he does a great job of feet placement, I think, after the catch. He sees where contact is coming, and he's okay truffle shuffling backwards to go 2 yards forward. Did you notice that at all?
I did, and I think it's a testament to him training with Eric Moulds in the off-season.
Continue, yeah. He existed in a very defined space once that ball's in his hand. Were you ever scared of him giving up the biscuit? Because I was scared about that all day. As we know, ball security is job security.
Absolutely, and I'm not worried so much about him giving it up. I was more worried about James Cook, and because we saw it a few times last year, and it seems.
What'd you say to me during the game, James Cook? Sometimes holding it like a LaShawn McCoy. What's
Yeah.
that? Holding it like a loaf of
bread.
While aesthetically that looks cool, sometimes the biggest hits and the biggest causes of turnovers are the man you don't see.
Yep, and we saw it from Josh Allen on his fumble.
The man you don't see.
He's holding it out, and rather than pulling it back in and trying to take off, he's holding it out, and
the other teams get the ball.
Yep. Same thing with Kyler Murray. He did the same type of thing, and Greg Rousseau. I mean, having a 9-foot wingspan is definitely helpful in that situation. But yeah.
I mean, you saw. I think today we talk about the big cat SWAT, right? How important was that Daquan Jones SWAT?
That was on that drive. That was probably one of the biggest plays of the game where they were.
I mean, for a guy that can dunk the basketball, it felt like if that ball even was thrown another foot higher, he might have done the paw adjustment to swat that down too.
Yeah, I mean he got up real high, had to adjust in midair to swat that ball. So I mean it's definitely a great play from him.
And you know that ball's coming out hot too. He was only 6 or 7 yards away from that, so he anticipated the trajectory of where that was going. He understood the down and distance. Daquan Jones, as we just talked about, Tim Settle being, obviously not retained and let go. He's doing his thing in Houston, which we always love. It was a dynamic of which it's deflating for a team that's trying to move the ball, and all of a sudden your 300-pounder is able to, if he can't get to the quarterback, he gets to the ball. Your thoughts, man?
I mean, that's one of the things that I was going to touch on, especially with Von Miller. It looked like
How many did he get today?
He just got one.
Just one.
Just one.
But his presence was felt.
But it was, and you could see it anytime he was in the game.
The motor was on,
pressuring the quarterback. He almost got to Kyler Murray on that last throw that Kyler Murray made. That throw gave me, for whatever reasons, gave me agita. And gave me vibes of DeAndre Hopkins and the Hail Murray. Thank God we put that behind us now and took down Arizona today.
Yeah, and as we said before, these NFC games matter. They're incredibly important. I think especially when you see we're not the only 1-0 team in the AFC East today. The other two teams that played it in Miami and the Patriots, they got the job done too. So in a conference that everything's going to be played tight, and there's going to be played tight twice. Matt, we are flush with the other two teams in this conference. You have three teams right now, 1-0 in the AFC East. So.
It's not going to be an easy division this year. We definitely didn't ever think that, but it definitely looks like we'll see, because week one it tends to be a liar with a lot of these other teams. But we'll definitely see if that rings true again this year, because it comes down to it, and they.
You want to sit in? You want to sit in and just tell us what you saw today? In a second, you're going to do the rounds. Okay, I'm going to use the bathroom here. We'll do a pause for station identification. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Well, my partner is indisposed at this point. I just wanted to touch and thank everybody for joining us here on the post-game show. Like Student had said, normally this is a place at the table with Elliot Apollo and Eric Wood and myself. After 1 p.m. games, we'll definitely be back to doing that. But he had a prior engagement. Eric Wood did. So we definitely thank you guys for joining us today to talk about the Bills after this big win, the 1-0 win that puts the Bills going forward. So we want to thank Iliad Apollos. We want to thank Sons of Erie. We want to thank Beauty Pools, Kayak Pools, BetUS for sure. We want to thank everybody for sponsoring the show, for joining us today. 34-28, a big win for the Bills. So I do want to bring up at this point right now one of our data guys, Jake. You can see him on Saturday nights at 9 p.m. On the Do Champions YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and then hear him the next day on Spotify. They bring a different balance to the network. So let me bring him up right now. Just give me 1 second. All right, there he is. Hey, Jake, how are you today?
What's up, Matt? How's it going?
Not too bad. What did you see from a data side of things today?
I saw the trend continue with McDermott getting a little conservative again at the end with the field goal versus the kick. I was a little disappointed with some of the adjustments in the run game in the second half. But I love to see the adjustments on the other side with Babich in the defense. So overall, I think it was a game of adjustments, and then and special teams I think left a little to be desired.
Yeah, and I'm of the same mind too. I mean, I really think that special teams was not a problem today, but you could definitely see as far as the the kickoff, the new kickoff rule, how that could impact us here, especially in Buffalo, with the wind and everything like that they have to deal with on a regular basis.
Yeah, that's kind of my issue, with Smiley, I think, is the lack of adjustments. So no one had kicked a touchback into the wind, right, into the end zone. So we're into the wind, and instead of calling a low kick, which with the new kickoff rule, as soon as the ball hits the ground, then moving.
when they did, he kicked it out of bounds.
Right, exactly. So that's two adjustments that I think Smiley failed to make is, you kick a low one there, not a pop-up. So you kick a pop-up so the return man can get momentum before he catches the ball. And so I think that's what really triggered that big return. And then the next kickoff, he squibs it, to the sideline instead of why wouldn't you just squib that down the middle? So I thought that was two bad tactical calls on special teams.
I can't hear him.
What do you mean you can't hear him? Jake, we still got you?
Yep.
There you go. Now you should be able to hear him.
Jake, what's up?
What's up, student? How's it going?
Good, man. What did you see today, bud? What did you see? What was your peak in your pit for today, buddy? That's what we've been the common question that we're trying to interject more in the network. What was the peak today? And then we'll switch to the pit. The peak, Jake. What do you got for me?
The peak was Josh. I mean, I thought you saw him be patient pretty much all game.
He was kind. He was patient.
Yeah,
just a patient, kind. He had a lot of Christian values.
He's the golden retriever, man.
Yeah, he had a lot of Christian values in distributing the ball. So, not to cut you off, go ahead.
No, that was the key for me. I wanted to see him even from behind. Right, we got to see him stay patient even from behind, not force anything deep, just take what the defense gave him. And even the deep shot on third down, while I didn't love that call on third down, it was there, it was open. So that's what I really loved as the peak for today.
Yeah, I mean, especially you're talking to the Keon Coleman one, right?
No, the one to MVS on
MVS,
third
yes.
and 7.
No, absolutely. Yep. And he looked like he put that a little bit wide. The air kind of got under it, going that way, and kind of took that. So I mean, that's definitely a good thing to see that the Bills are thinking about that, and to see how far that MVS got behind the defense on that really helped today.
It sure did. And expanding on that, it did seem like they were baiting them a little bit with a lot of play action, with a lot of rollouts. I'm glad you brought that up. It was nice to see that James Cook in drawing the defense in. James Cook had that right side slash. How many times did you see him be like, holy hamburgers. He got upfield fast, so I'm glad you brought up that as your peak. As the counterpoint, what was your pit, Jake, that you saw today, and why was it the first half?
Well, if I'm going to stay on offense, I'll say the pit was the left side of the offensive line on running plays. They got dominated today. It looked like I want to watch all 22, but the left side of the offensive line, anytime we ran that way, it was just getting blown up, tackles for loss all day. When we went to the right side, I thought Torrance and Spencer Brown had really good games in the run game. Torrance in the pass game, I want to see that in all 22 as well. But I think that would be my pit on offense. Is the left side of that offensive line did not look good.
Yeah, no, I think the left side of the offensive line on run plays didn't look very good, and then on passing plays, I think on the right side it didn't look very good. So I mean, it really comes down to it where, you know, Osiris Torrance, we need to look at him. We need to look at David Edwards on the other side, because was it him or was it Deion Dawkins on those running plays?
I did actually think that Mr. McGovern did a great job, and from what I could see, and obviously we'll look at the all 22 this week. He did a great job in managing slide protections. And realizing where the pressure was coming from and what was kind of nipping us in the bud in terms of a collapsing pocket. Jake, what did you think about what kind of slide protections we saw? Especially, it wasn't always predetermined that when number 70, Alec Anderson, checked in the game that it was going to be a predefined run play or a predefined bang and clang in there. Jake, do you notice that, or is that just me?
No, definitely. I thought McGovern had a really good game. It seemed like on two of the pressures that Torrance gave up, there was a odd man on his side, and instead of taking a man, he tried to double team with McGovern. So I want to say that was more on Torrance, because Spencer Brown kicked out to the wide guy, and Torrance was supposed to stay on his man, and he went to help McGovern. So I have to think that's probably on Torrance, but I'd have to watch it again. But otherwise, it looked like McGovern had a really solid game.
I mean, in seeing Torrance commit that foul in the box, you know, Matt, you're shaking your head, but just let me go on this. We're in defined territory. We're inside the 20. We got all our 6'4" wide receivers on the field, and we go to the run, which is shocking. But in going to that run, it really doesn't matter what the outcome was, because the outcome was we're going back 15 yards. How unforgivable is that going to be, one? And I know Matt wants to get in on here, so I'm going to bring it to him real quick before I go back to you, Jake.
Yeah, no, I mean, absolutely. I mean, that play specifically was perfect. It was set up perfect. It was done perfectly, and he got blown up and just grabbed the wrong spot, and it was absolutely, you know, I mean, I don't know what else to say about it, because I can't believe that in today's NFL that some of these guys are still grabbing face masks.
And you know, when he grabbed Jake, he didn't let go. Like he didn't even try and mask, because sometimes your hands get tied up. Obviously your punch target is to chisel and to leverage inside that the collarbone and inside to kind of turn them off and to kind of dictate where their run path can be. And to get up in there and to have such an egregious foul that really takes points off the board is crazy. I think we got the thigh doctor coming on right now. Jake, you want to comment on that one?
Yeah, no, I agree. That was a massive play in the game. You know, it took 7 points off the board. So that was a killer. They had a couple penalties that were killers,
Sure.
and
Absolutely was.
you know.
So, Jake, if you want to stay on, we're gonna bring on the thigh doctor right now, and I believe he's gonna impart on us what from his medical expertise he saw in terms of injuries. So we bring on the thigh doctor for Buffalo Fanatics, a good friend of the program, and somebody who's a stalwart when it comes to diagnosing these injuries. What is up, thigh doctor?
What's up, boys?
We got him on right now. Cool. We're going to move this. I'm going to hop out real quick. Just give me 1 second. Thigh doctor, yo, what's up, homie?
What's up, boys?
Okay, you watch the game from the comfort of your own abode. We're going to keep us on the camera right now just because you're not wanting to be on camera. But, yo, talk to me, Goose. What do you got for me? I see, just on a personal growth level, man, I like that people are starting to see what me and Matt are seeing in terms of your immediate, firing from the hip. What you're seeing on just on replays, because it seems like you're kind of nailing it a little bit. Matt, did you notice that like at all from the big guy
Absolutely, I do, and it's definitely something nice to see. It's definitely something that is nice to really be able to take your word on things as far as diagnosing things, and they turn around and they seem to be correct. I mean, it started last year with some of the things, and then with the Matt Milano injury, and having that a few days early, and then cover one.
You come at the king, you best not miss.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah,
what do you got?
Shoot,
for
let
us?
me know. So Tehran got his hand sandwiched in there on that tackle on the first series. So I'm going to assume that we're looking at a potential fracture there in the forearm. So what does that mean? I mean, it could be go a couple different ways, but ideally,
could it be a metacarpal?
No, you know what? No, they called it a forearm, so I think it's like higher up, either the wrist or like mid shaft there. So I don't know. Cast it up, and we could see him by week 3 is, I'd say, best case scenario there.
You really think with just a fracture, it's going to be a week 3 thing if it wasn't a clean break?
I mean, barring that he needs surgery, you just put it in the cast. I mean, listen, like I just, so I go off by the injury, and then like how the player reacts, and then it's like a gut feeling. So to see him out there, kind of want to go in, makes me initially feel like it wasn't like a severe fracture, and then a non-severe fracture would be a non-displaced. So those ones don't need surgery. So then you just kind of you put them in a cast and let them play through it.
Yeah, typically, if you're talking surgery, aren't those pins and screws? Like it's when you get down to those lower arm injuries.
Yeah, and if it's not a bad, if that's all it is just like one pin or one screw, still you're looking at like 2 to 3 weeks. Put him in a cast, and then he could play through it and take the cast off around like 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, no, I mean, absolutely. And so I just really want to, what determines that, whether they need surgery or not? Like, what is like the full...
Is it a stability element or what?
Yeah, so if something's like shifted, then you have to put it in place and put a screw in it so it heals the right way. And there's also, some bones in the hand, like the navicular bone, also known as a scaphoid, that notoriously doesn't heal well because it doesn't have good blood supply. So that one usually gets a screw no matter what, especially when you're working with an athlete.
No, and to pivot, even though Teron Johnson is a stalwart on our defense, he's very integral. What did you see out of Josh? You saw that he was able to tape it, go back in. He wasn't under center that much. Because the hand-to-hand transition of getting him that ball could cause some impact trauma, and furthermore, make an injury once the adrenaline wears off a little worse. Did you notice that they weren't so much under center anymore?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely saw that, especially like the adrenaline wear off, and he goes over to the side and he's starting to wince after he scored the touchdown because he's up and celebrating, doing his stuff, and then all of a sudden he's on the sideline and it's like, oh no, he's hurt.
Yeah. So the basically what he did is he had his hand underneath his elbow, and when he landed on the ground, it it was kind of like nailing, kind of crucifying your hand there. So I don't know if it's a fracture or what's in there. It would be like a transverse metacarpal ligament because his fingers kind of splayed out.
That's where the metacarpal comes in. I got something kind of right.
Yeah. So I don't know. So basically there's a couple minutes left. So if he says he's good, they just taped it up and let him play it out. So he did take a shotgun snap, but then he was actually under center quite a bit after that. Now he looked pretty awkward handing it off to the left when he had to hold the ball with the left hand, but it looked pretty normal when he had to go to the right. Looking at a short week, when the adrenaline wears off, that swelling is going to start to set in, and I think that's the concern. So you have a hand that might hurt, he could play through it, but when it's puffy, he can't grip. And that's going to be a concern having to turn around and play on Thursday, especially.
I noticed that.
After
I noticed
a flight.
that real quick. I noticed that when he was grabbing the surface on the sideline, is he literally had to rest it against his wrist.
Yeah.
Because clearly he couldn't grab the surface.
Correct. Yeah. So worst case scenario. Well, what's worst case scenario? Worst case scenario. There's there's a ligament in there that they have to repair, and that's gonna take a long time. But
he's also going to have to go to a big pressurized tube. Do you worry about flights or anything like that with some of the injuries we talked
absolutely,
about? Because flights aren't good for anything. I still wear compression socks.
no, so that when he's gonna get in the plane, when he lands, that swelling's gonna start to increase. So again, short week, having to fly down to Miami, humid, it doesn't bode well. Let's just hope it's just like a deep bruise and that's all it is, and just have to manage swelling. But yeah, if it is a fracture though, that's like a boxer's fracture in there. That's like the fourth metacarpal bone that would
I know it all too well.
that would require a pin, and that would be a couple weeks.
So, Jake, do you have any questions for Thigh Doctor? Hold on. You're muted.
No, I think he hammered it there. I think you got to really hope that Josh's injury doesn't require surgery and he could play. But Thursday looks like it could be in serious doubt.
Yeah. Well, can I say one thing?
I'm gonna let you go with that, Doctor, because your time is valuable, much like the time it takes to heal, because it is a short week.
Yeah, so I wouldn't if there's nothing that needs surgery and it's just a swelling issue, I don't think Josh Allen's going to sit out a game. But you would have to worry about snaps, handoffs, and him kind of breaking the fall and ball security. So it's like
ball security is job security.
Yeah, it's going to be loaded with issues going into this week, but it doesn't mean he's not going to be playing based on what we've seen so far.
Yeah, and we definitely want to thank you for hopping on with us for a few minutes, giving us a little insight into what your mind was thinking on those injuries and everything like that. I definitely think
it's worth healing.
It is. No, it's definitely worth hearing. But the one thing before we let you go, I do want to say, I'm at 1. We got 10 more to go. I'm at 1 for Von Miller.
What's the deal?
For the inundated, for the non listeners who've been following Matt's tweet and Thigh Doctor's tweet, they do have a gambling bet on if someone wants to give them the lines and what's at stake here.
I'll definitely give you the lines real quick. So it's over 10.5 sacks or under 10.5 sacks. We haven't figured out what Thigh Doctor's going to do yet if it goes under, but if it goes over, but under, I have to do a thigh dance.
I feel like I might do a thigh dance just based on how much he's nailing this thing. So Thigh Doctor, man, go enjoy the time with the family. And I know you don't get a lot of time off working in the medical field, and we do appreciate you coming on, man. And Matt, you want to give me a thanks too? Even though
I already said thanks, but last thing is go Bills.
Go Bills. Hey, no problem. Nice talking to you guys.
Thanks, lad. I do appreciate that. All right, so Jake, we got you back on now. Jake, you kept the pit on the outside of the ball, on the offensive side of the ball. You're peaking your pit actually for the defense.
I'd say first half is the pit for sure. But I would say the second half, really adjustments by Babbage. So the drives in the second half for that defense was 3 plays, -4 yards, punt, 2 plays, sack, fumble, 8 plays, 54 yards, but held him to a field goal, 3 plays, -5 yards and a punt, and then 9 plays, 31 yards, and then they turned it over on downs. So second half adjustments by Babbage I thought were really nice. You could see him start to dial up some pressure, send a bunch of guys some cover zero, heat up Kyler Murray, which I thought would be a negative, but he didn't seem to handle it very well, and it was a really nice adjustment.
You see that they were running a lot of spy. And with spy comes, that is your cover zero, your cover ones. It did seem like it was a tale of two halves in terms of how well they executed your vulnerability points in terms on defense. It seems like they condensed a lot of drop back yardage, and they didn't do it to the point where it was a pre-snap tell of what coverage they were in. I felt like when we rocked down some players, we did it enough where we maintained there was some integrity in cover two when we were dropping them a little bit, not necessarily in the box because it was 8 yards, but we didn't give it too much of a pre-snap tell. Now that being said, Mr. Jake, how much do you think the stat line is indicative of what we went through today?
I think it's pretty good when you look at the first half and the second half. The Cardinals only had 270 total yards. I would have thought they would have had more. They only had 124 rushing yards. So I would have thought they would have had more as well. they held Marvin Harrison Jr. to only one catch. So he did have that one drop, but I mean, I'd say it's really came down to the second half adjustments by the defense, and like you brought up with the spy, I think they kind of went away with that a little bit. They thought maybe Dorian could handle it, but you saw Bernard start to spy a little bit instead of Dorian, and then Cam Lewis as well to get some more speed in there. Dorian seemed like he took a couple bad lanes when he was spying, and Kyler was just having a field day of running. So you kind of saw them go away from
Sure.
that
Sure.
in the second half, and it was nice to see.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, the one thing that I will say the defense did well is get their hands up.
Yep.
Because I mean, we saw it at the end of the game. Marvin Harrison ran wide open for a would-be touchdown, and then
He had a basket drop.
and well, he did, but he ran wide open. Like I don't think there was a cornerback within 20 yards of him, and we saw the front end of the play on the broadcast where guys are jumping up in his arms, and I think it was Dorian Williams who came through the line and basically went up as Murray was getting ready to release the ball.
Whoa. Are you saying height and throwing lanes mattered? Like we said pregame.
They 100% do matter. What do you think about that, Jake?
No, I think it's very true. I mean, Kyler is not a guy who likes to throw over the middle of the field. That's another thing with short quarterbacks. They don't like to throw over the middle. And you go get your hands up with those guys, and they can't see. And that's probably why he didn't see Marvin Harrison running, down the middle wide open. I think Cam Lewis also got in there and jumped up as well. So yeah, I think heating them up, sending pressure, and getting your hands up were big in the second half.
I mean, and that was definitely a key to the game, as we said. And I wish we got the thigh doctor on for what we went through in pregame. We had Steve Michi on from the almighty Every Time I Die, and the Better Lovers brand. And can you tell Jake what happened, and does he need to see anybody in the Bills training staff after what you saw, Matt?
So when we were in the back of the box truck, we said, "Hey, you might not want to sit on that chair." He sits on the chair anyways, and we're like, "Hey, that's kind of leaning off of there." So he pulls the chair out from behind him, and he starts standing up and ends up falling backwards and fell about 4.5 feet on his back.
He got right back up and just started talking Bills. But Jake, in the tailgate, you knew it was going to be a perfect day for football. Do you think that altered the stat line with the wind? Did it play a role in not executing special teams as we had hoped? And Matt and I just got in a touch of an argument about a Smiley, as someone did say, fire Smiley. Do you think it was an execution thing? Do you think it was a game plan thing? Do you think it was a new rule thing? And where do you think we navigate from here?
I mean, I think my issue with Smiley from last year is failed adjustments, and I think that was what it was today. I think the kickoff return touchdown was a direct result of popping it up the kick and letting the returner run underneath it and get a head start. He came full speed when he caught the ball. I think there, going into the wind, you saw the Cardinals, they were squibbing it down the middle, and I think that's the play to make. You just squib it down the middle. As soon as the ball hits the ground, the coverage team can start running and close that gap. And so I think that was the critical thing that I would knock on Smiley. Not calling for the pop-up kick. Like, I don't understand that at all. And then the next kick,
I'll bag what you're raking.
yeah, then the next kick I think was another failed call. Like, why are you squibbing it down either sideline? Like, that just brings in so much randomness with the bounce of the ball. Like, just squib it down the middle. Like, trying to get too cute there.
Yeah, because I do think if you got a squib and you get a favorable pop up where it ends up popping right up to your numbers, you're giving up so much agency of creating momentum. They already by design have. They already have a head start in that landing zone. A squib kick is great if you make it unfieldable. It's not great if you aid to the forward momentum of which you're already giving the other team by setting them that far back and not letting your defensive return team move until he does make contact with that ball.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I just feel like you can't kick that ball in the air with the wind and let it hang up there. That was the mistake for me. And then yeah, when you squib it, the ball can bounce anywhere. So just don't squib it towards the sidelines. That brings up too much of a risk.
Yeah, and I mean, really, the thing that we touched on with that pop up is, they cannot move until that returner catches the ball.
Giving them too
Exactly.
much forward momentum, too
Right.
much
Yep.
forward pressure. If that ball doesn't get chaotic, which is the essence of a squib kick, starting the clock, that's a weighted risk, which did not pan out for the Bills today.
Well, I mean, I think that's the point though, is on that kick return touchdown, they didn't squib it, right? It was kicked up in the air, and really high and just hung up in the air. So the returner could wait, then full speed ahead, catch the ball on full sprint. I think if they would have squibbed it there, then at least as soon as the ball hits the ground, the kick coverage team can start running. And even if the returner gets it, on a full head of steam, if the squib pops up a little bit, at least the return team's already running towards them. So that for me was Smiley's big mistake, was kicking the ball in the air at
So
all.
you don't lean into it was execution. It was
No, that's a call. You make that call.
No. I hear you, but
Yeah.
balls can go too much in the air. But like you're keeping your special teams kickoff defensive team too flat-footed for too long when the other team has already got their cleats in the grass moving forward.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the adjustment thing for me. Like, I'm not even sure that crossed their minds to squib it there. Like, that's what worries me about Smiley. I don't think he's paying attention to that kind of stuff. And you saw everything into the wind. Nothing made it into the end zone. And so the Cardinals adjusted and started kicking it low because Codrington had that one return on a kick that was short because it was into the wind. So they stopped kicking it in the air and just started squibbing it when they were going into the wind.
Well, with the coin toss, you knew you get your choice of what side you want to defend.
Yep.
Do you agree that Smiley was had a dog in the game about what they're going to defend? Because that's a pre-toss conversation. If we lose, and I'm going to throw it to Matt. If we lose, you know which way dude. You know which way that wind in that tunnel shifts. Do you think that's to be analyzed? Because paired with our performance in the first half, that definitely seemed like the pit of managing where we're going in case a tight game. It comes on the kick. Matt, am I being a persnickety douche or what?
I completely agree with you on that point because when it comes down to it, if we end up losing because they get momentum and they return that kick, and then whatever else happens, and they ended up driving down the field because they popped that kick up where they returned it, and then they squibbed it to put them on the 40 to start that final drive.
And Jake, I did have to be told what a double dip was. I did not know what that was. And Matt had told me. Matt, am I dumb or should I just pay attention more?
No, you just pay attention a little bit more.
And I'm going to go say absolutely not. So, Jake, what on the stat line jumps out at you, both for what you what you expected versus what's a little light? It's certainly not Shakir's yard after catch.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, the concerning thing was third down. We were 3 of 9 from third down. That's just not good enough. It was a little disappointing. A little bit, I think of it was play calls for me, like that deep shot on 3rd and 7. I don't love that. I love the call. I love the deep shot, just not on third down. So I want to see that cleaned up. We were 2 for 2 on fourth down though, so that was great. And red zone, finishing with touchdowns was fantastic today, minus the turnover by Josh, and then we had to get a field goal because Torrance had the face mask. Yep. Yeah, and I think the other one would be just penalties, right? The negative for today was just penalties. 9 penalties, way too much. And you could say some of that was the refs, but I mean, a lot of those were just blatantly on us. Those pre-snap penalties are just, there's no excuse for that.
It definitely seemed like there were no penalties of which we committed where they're overcomable. First and double sticks is a little bit different than third and double sticks.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that's part of the problem. with the offense today. They were super efficient moving the ball. 6 yards per play, almost 9 yards per pass. But when you're starting 1st and 20, it makes it a little hard to convert. So that was frustrating, man. I hope it's just a week one thing. Um, the other one that I hope is a week one thing is tackling. We missed way too many tackles today, and that's been a McDermott thing since he's been there. But you got to clean that up too. With a team like Miami next week, you can't be missing tackles and going backwards with the sticks.
Yeah, I think that's one of the main things that I noticed too is just watching it on the broadcast is just how many tackles were missed. I'm interested to see how many actually qualify as a missed tackle when all is said and done, when we get to the data side of things.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really interested in that as well. One other thing I wanted to point out too was the 4 sacks. I mean, Kyler's not an easy guy to bring down. He traditionally doesn't give up a lot of sacks, much like Josh as well. So to get him 4 times was really nice to see. And Groot obviously continuing from preseason is really encouraging, and even Vaughn showing up.
Yeah, Vaughn getting one is it's I gotta see.
It's a lot more than he got last year. Let's just say that.
Well, that was my first sneeze for the season, so maybe we can stack that up. How many sneezes will I have on?
What's the over/under at BetUS? Can we get some odds?
Oh, okay. Okay, data guy. Like that's on us. Okay. As Bill Belichick said, "Do your job." Oh, I like the way I said, "Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?" What? It's a Jack Kemp jersey. Holy heck! Can you pan to that real quick? That's a Jack Kemp jersey. Oh, that is, and it's signed too. Maybe we enact a law that the Sky Judge has to fucking do something.
Yeah, what's the point? I mean, I don't understand. They made no corrections today, and there were a couple definite that they could have corrected.
Matt and I just I wouldn't say unleashed, but the dog got out of its fence when I was absolutely sunning the Sky Judge. Matt,
Yeah,
did I get out of control?
it was
Actually, Jake, did I get out of control? Matt's gonna say, yeah, probably stuff like that.
No,
but I was upset.
No, it was well founded because we talked about it. The officiating was not good today, and when you have a piece in place to fix these calls on the field, and they don't use them, it's a disservice to the game. It's a disservice to the fans. It's a disservice to the players.
It's a disservice to the investment of what you make to make the game more efficient and better. Jake, oh, get over here now. Get over here now. Get over here right now. Right now. Who do we got? We got Big AA Alec Anderson.
What is up, people?
Yo, you played great today.
Oh,
Couple tackle overs.
Yeah.
Okay, where's your chick?
She's Alicia. Come here.
Alicia. Step right there. We got a mic right there. Step right there.
She goes right there.
We got Alec Anderson here. Dude, you don't look like you don't got any eye black on you. You don't. By the way, you got to step your swag up on the field. Like I want to see. I want to see more wrist tape. I want to see wrist tape to your forearms.
Baby, how do you feel about that? More swag on the field or less? What would you grade it today?
You get a 9.5.
Oh.
Maybe, honestly, a 10, just because I love you, though.
Oh, because she loves me. I love it. I'll step. What would you want? Wrist tape? That's it?
I want wrist tape, and I want you to just inflict your will. Because I always say you got the nasty. You have the nasty. So go eat dinner. We're gonna can I get you 5 minutes later? Yeah, cool.
Totally. All right, people. Love y'all.
Yo, that's Alec Anderson. So I just told him we have an Alex Anderson's a beautiful girlfriend here. She's a full-time resident of Buffalo. But that's kind of like what you're gonna get here with a little Alec Anderson here post game. He played great. What'd you think? We came in tackle overs, and you had Vandermark out, but I thought Alec did fantastic. As I keep the camera panned to him.
Yeah, as a sixth offensive lineman, I mean, he did a wonderful job today. Anytime that they needed that block and that power formation, I mean, he delivered.
Yeah, and Alec Anderson, obviously big friend of the program. He's going to have some dinner. We got a couple other guys here, but I think that's what we're uniquely going to bring in to this show, Mr. Matt Dygert.
Yeah,
I think. Hey man, that was cool. As soon as we saw each other, He came, he dapped me up, and that's kind of what this Illegal Apollos community is all about. By the way, and it's good that we rode with Alec, forever. Jake, and I know we're gonna watch the all 22, but like, what a welcomed addition when we did the tackle over, and it wasn't a committed run. We didn't give up any pre-snap tells when the big AA was on. So, by the way, great shape up by him. He looks like he got trimmed up, which I know we need. He got trimmed up right before on air.
We got Benny in the chat. I mean,
Yeah.
Benny, when are we getting our haircuts, bud?
Yeah. We're not going to get him. So, Jake, how much did you like the non pre-snap tell, both on offense and defense? Is there anything you noticed?
Yeah, I thought that was one of the things I really liked about Brady today. You saw on one play even where they pulled McGovern to the right side, and it made it look like a run play.
A complete
pass play.
It was a mental misdirection.
Yep, for sure. So he did a really good job, and that's what we thought this year, that he was going to marry the run and the pass, and you weren't going to be able to tell which was which. So that was encouraging to see some of those, and you're going to see a lot more wrinkles of that as the season goes on.
I mean, it's definitely fantastic to exist in a realm that control chaos, Matt. Chaos in the fact that like you don't actually know where we're committed to. We even saw Reggie Gillum fucking a pre-snap behind a pro set motion. Come on, with it.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And I mean, what it comes down to is, on offense, yes, you want some element where we're just going to line up and run it down your throat, but you also want that element too is, hey, we're going to line up and run it down your throat. Oh, wait, we're passing the ball. We drew everybody up, and that's the major thing.
That is a sick jersey. We got a black. If you can pan to it, can we get to him?
No.
Anyway, we're gonna have Alec on a little bit later, but Jake, you're a pretty valuable just by the way you view the game. And we talked about before. Does the stat line indicate kind of where we're at? You say maybe, but could you lean yes or no? Make it binary.
Sure. I mean, I think it definitely highlights what we wanted from the offense. I mean, extremely efficient. Josh was extremely efficient today. And, that was even without Kincaid being focal point, which we all thought Kincaid was going to be a focal point. He only had 2 targets, but Josh was 18 of 23. So I think that was really encouraging to see, was how efficient the passing game was. And like I said, it averaged 9 yards an attempt. So that was what really stood out for me today.
All right, Matt's telling me we got the post game show. We got to go. So maybe we don't get Alec. We have him during this week. Anyway,
we have both him and Ryan Vandermark this week.
Yep.
So.
Who else do we have?
Potentially Spencer.
No, I don't think we can get Spencer after that contract. He's going to be on. He's like, geez, there are a lot of players walking in. Once again, this is a great time to highlight. We're at Iliad Apollos right now, and if you want to rub shoulders with some people that we're cheering for, some people that were just on the field, hey, where are we going?
What do you mean?
What's the address, dude?
Oh, 3785 South Park Avenue,
Dude,
Blaisdell, New
lead
York.
a horse to water,
14219.
You can try, man. You can
Jake,
try.
is there anything you want to exit with? Paul McGuire's over there. We're okay. We're gonna be doing this for a while, so we don't need any special guests. Anything you want to exit with? What do you just want to just tighten up before you even get in the meeting rooms, operationally and strategically?
I would just say execution, man. Pre-snap, penalties, and then tackling. It was just execution. Hopefully, it was just week 1, and we see that cleaned up.
Coachable elements.
Exactly. Yeah. So otherwise, I think it was really encouraging. You can clean up all that stuff. So
Matt, anything you think we can clean up before they get into Tuesday morning meetings? Well, actually, it's probably Monday morning meeting with the short week.
I mean, honestly, I think it's nailed right on the head. Is those procedural penalties is really something that needs to be. Is something that needs to be cleaned up immediately, because they can't keep having these great plays and then cost themselves 5 yards. It's like they take 1 step forward and 2 steps back.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you can't go from 7 and all the way to 3 points. Like, that's the best outcome. So Jake, hey baby, good to be seen, buddy.
good to be seen.
Matt, good to be seen, buddy. We get the fuck out of here.
Throw your hands up and shout. Throw your head back and shout. Come on now, the Bills are making it happen now.